Hey y'all, it's your boy Nians and I'm back today with another video. I decided that today I'm going to do a story time. However, this story time is trifling. Not on my end though, but on somebody else's end, another party. Another party's end, not mine. So, 3 years ago, there was this young boy who went by the name of Nians. He was working at this job that he couldn't stand, but he needed the money to survive. He had been through it all. What can he say? He is that strong. He has seen darker days. He almost called it off. And during that time, he met two individuals.
One by the name of Lima Bean and the other by the name of Jericho. These two individuals played to be his friends. They were brother and sister, and they came into his life. And it was supposedly a good time until they fucked it up.
So back in my A&T days, which was like 4 blah 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 ago, I was working at this warehouse and there was this girl named Lima Bean and her brother Jericho. So we all ended up becoming friends because I found out that she went to A&T as well, and so that's how we became connected. And so from there we just started like talking at work and everything. We started hanging out with each other. That was that. We really was just like texting back and forth and everything. Now I wasn't really friends with Jericho, but me and Lima Bean got along just great. So fast forward to like I moved out my apartment that I was staying at the time because I was like so tired of my roommates, and so I was like, okay, it's time for me to live alone. So I ended up staying with one of my friends until I could get my apartment situated. And so during this time, Lima Bean had offered me to stay with her until I got my apartment in August. This is probably like July. Yeah, this is the month of July. Okay. So what happened was Lima Bean needed like, I think she needed like $250 or something like that. She needed half of the $500, and I ended up giving her the other $250 just like for my stay period of like July. So I could stay there until August when I got my place. So when it's time for me to move out and whatnot, I'm hitting Lima Bean up and I'm just like, hey sis, like, is everything still good? Is everything still good? And she's not saying nothing. Like, she's really not responding. So I think what happened was she sent me her resume or something to do. She had sent me something, I believe. It was something like that in my email. So I went back. No, I think it was her check stub. She wanted me to check to see if it was correct for our job. She thought that was missing money or something. So when I checked the check stub, I went back in my email. First of all, I'm a smart nigga. Like, I am smart as fuck. Like, I ain't no stupid motherfucker. Street smart and book smart. Get it all. 2 for 1, baby.
The universe do need me.
Yeah. And I was just like, alright. So I went right back to my emails. I was like, wait a minute. I think I got a message from this hoe I do. Ooh, wait a minute. So I went back up and I went to my email and I found her address. So I caught the bus to the Zip car on campus. If you don't know, Zip cars are like little rental cars for students or anybody in general. I got the Zip car and my phone was off during this time period. What a coincidence. If you watched my last video, you know what I'm talking about. I used to have to screenshot directions when my phone was off, and I would screenshot the Google Maps directions and I'll just follow. So I got in a little Zip car. I went right over there to her house and I knocked on the door.
Knock, knock.
And it was funny because Jericho's mother ended up opening the door and she was like, hey. I was like, hey, is Lima Bean there? And she was like, yeah, Lima Bean. Lima Bean came to the door and she was looking shocked. Like, this bitch looked like she was, I'll leave a bitch stuck with the stuck face. So like, she was literally just like looking like, what the fuck? And I'm sitting here like, hi bitch. So come to find out, she said she didn't have the money. She said that, I don't remember to exactly what happened, but something had happened, and come to find out, it was Jericho's apartment, not Lima Bean's apartment, and also Jericho had his mother and his brother staying with him at the same time. And when I found it out, I was like, oh, okay, well that's that. Well, you really just fucked my shit up. So I go back home and I'm staying with my grandma for like 2 weeks. Then I get myself situated to go back to Greensboro. When I pull up on Lima Bean and Jericho, they no longer at that apartment. They apparently it got flooded, so they had to go to a motel. So I pulled it in to talk to them, and I said, "Oh, I realized that I didn't have my key to Warrior. Apparently, I left the key to Warrior at my grandma's house in the back room.
Way to go, dumbass!
So I had to turn around, drive another 3 hours back to my grandma's house, and then back to Greensboro. And Lima Bean ends up riding with me. So when we went to my grandma's house to get it, she was talking to her baby daddy. And her baby daddy was supposed to help. No, her baby daddy was supposed to be giving her some money. So she had me pull up on her baby daddy at this random gas station. They doing the little thing and whatnot, talking and shit. And I'm like sitting like right in the car, like right beside them. So after a while, I just started looking at my phone. I started texting her. I'm like, look, sis, I'm ready to go back home. Like, I'm tired. Like, well, not back home, but to my friend's house. Like, I'm tired. So she ends up getting out the car, and we ended up heading back to Greensboro. So when we get back to Greensboro, I stopped by my old apartment complex. It was like probably like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. So I pull up the car and try and jump Warrior. I push Warrior up the hill in the parking lot and try to get it. I try to get Lima Bean to start the car. This bitch act like she don't know left from right. And I'm like, baby, what are you doing? I thought you knew how to drive C. She said, it's just been a while. I'm like, what's so hard to remember? That's the clutch, the brake, and the gas. What are you not understanding? So she just come to find out she didn't know how to drive stick. And I'm just like, okay. And not to mention, there was a few things before that I kind of was like, I went to my friend's house at the time. And I tried not to stay there like that just because, you know how when you get this feeling like people just like, that's what I kind of felt. So my cousin lived in Charlotte, so I ended up coming to Charlotte, and because it was around my birthday too. I think it was my birthday, like it's probably a day of before my birthday. Oh, what happened was the reason why I wasn't in my apartment yet was because when I came up to my apartment, they had my move-in dates like pushed back. Like they had my move-in date pushed back. They had me confused with another person. They tried to say hi my last name. But in Funi Molasanga, come on now.
Really, nigga?
Y'all being so stereotypical because there's other Africans living there. Like, so my cousin lived in Charlotte, and I was going to A&T at the time. So what I would do is I would drive to Charlotte. I would stay with my cousin, and the days I had class, I would just drive back to the class. And after my days of classes were done, I would head back to Charlotte. And I did this for like a week. Anyways, fast forward until like September. Lima Bean hits me up. She's like, hi. She's like, hey, man. She's like, I know I still owe you, blah, blah, blah. But, like, she's like, I don't have nowhere to stay. And, like, she brought a pregnant card. She was just like, and I just need somewhere to stay and to deal with school. And I was just like, okay. Well, I'm a very, like, nurturing person. I play, like, parent to a lot of people, which I probably shouldn't do. I let her come stay with me. And then she also brought her Jericho. Now, I had a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment. So luckily it had worked out that I had a whole nother room, which was supposed to be like my YouTube setup and my studio setup. So, but I was like broke, like, so I didn't really care because I didn't have nothing in there but like my Vince suitcases. So they ended up staying in that room, and I got this other job at this call center. Me and Lima Bean were in 2 different departments. So during this time, it was just like a whole bunch of sketchy shit going on. So probably like a month later, she gave me like $350 between her and Jericho. And I didn't even know he was coming, but I was such a cool person because if he tell me like, if you're going through the struggle, I'm going to do my best to help you even if I don't have it like that. And I didn't have it like that, but I didn't even have furniture. Like, baby, I was on the floor in that last apartment. I didn't even have nothing, but like, I wasn't going to see you pregnant and homeless. You know, if I can do something to help that, that's what I was going to do. And on another note, just like separate from that, I think people take advantage of me when it comes to that. Now I will say since I've been since I moved to Charlotte and I've been like here, I have stopped like a lot of shit just because I've dealt with a lot of people. Greensboro, I went through hell and high waters. Like that was a very trying time in my life. Like a very trying time in my life. Like I suffered and I got out of that shit. But anyway, I was just trying to be a good friend. So my debit card had expired, And my other one went to my grandma's house, and I didn't have a card at that time. Like I didn't have a card at that time. I didn't have like the mailbox set up. Because it cost money to set up the mailbox for the card. But now that I think about it, they were really some scammers because they wanted money. They wanted money. That was some bullshit. But yeah, it cost money to set up the mailbox, and I didn't have that. Like my life was so hectic. I was like, it was too much going on, and I was still going to school. I was still going to the job, and I remember she's like, do you want to just go home? You can rob me and my friends. I was like, no, I'm fine. I'm just going to stay here. And she was just like, okay. She's like, okay. But she kept acting hesitant. And so, I remind you, Jericho was there at the same time. So one day, me and Jericho are just sitting in the living room. And we're just talking. Like, this is like that Saturday, I believe. It's just literally me and him. And we were just talking before he went to work. And he was just like, yeah. Because I didn't really talk to him like that, because she always tried to keep us separate from each other, even though we were staying in the same apartment. Like, they literally were, like, in the next room. And so, I didn't really speak. I mean, we were cool, but we didn't really talk like that. So, Lama Bean left, and it was just me and him, and we were just talking about a whole bunch of random shit. And he was telling me, like, thank you, Nene. So, like, I really appreciate you. He was just like, I tell people how cool you are, how I have a roommate and whatnot. And then I was like, when he said that, I was like, woo! Y'all ain't only supposed to be until like November, like just till y'all getting y'all feet. Like, I mean, I know I want on my feet, but like still, I'm looking to here for me. Eventually, I'm gonna get off my feet. Like, I'm gonna get on my feet eventually. So, and I was like, okay, well, you know what, Nias, don't do it like that. So I was like, okay. And so yeah, we're just talking. And so come to find out, I think he started somehow something happened. What was it? What was said? I think he started talking about how Jericho started talking about how him and Lima Bean have been having relationship issues. When he said that, I said, what, y'all fighting or something? Y'all got an argument about your mama and shit, like your daddy and shit? No, this nigga was telling me that like they were having like couple issues. Like, I'm talking like fucking couple issues. Like, come to find out, they were actually not siblings. They were actually, boyfriend and girlfriend. And when I found that out, I was just like, what the fuck? I was like, okay. So then, Lana B used to tell me not to tell him about Humpty Dumpty. Humpty Dumpty, I didn't say a word about that. So she had Jericho, the baby daddy, and Humpty Dumpty. And so I was just like, okay. So I was like, ooh, alright. So I was a down-ass friend, so like, I was keeping shit to myself. I ain't say nothing. And now when he started saying that shit, when he started revealing like everything that she lied about, like this bitch, me and her were like the same. We were the same age. We were both 20. She lied and said she was 21. She lied and said she went to A&T. She didn't go to A&T at all. She just had a friend who had a scholarship, so that's how she was getting all her stories. Like pretty much she had like a friend that was like me, pretty much. But that's how she was getting all her stories. Like, this bitch was just lying for no damn reason. Like, she lied about. She was a habitual liar. Like, she was a habitual liar, y'all. I'm so, okay, so me and Jericho talking before you go to work. And he just started spilling tea. And so I'm just sitting here. Then I'm just like. And he got mad because I brought up Humpty Dumpty, who had the red Camaro with the dent in the front of the car. Because this bitch also lied and said she had a red Camaro. Come to find out, it was his. And again, all this stuff that was happening, I probably would have been able to piece together. But when you're going through, like, you're literally living a nightmare. Like, I was getting 4 hours of sleep, going between work and school, catching the buses, which eats up your time as well, doing back and forth and stuff like that. I didn't even have time to focus on this shit. So then fast forward to the next day, she comes back that Sunday. When she pulls back up, me and him are standing on the balcony, and at this point I'm telling her she gonna have to go because she done lied about everything. He also told me that she was not pregnant, that she was lying. I said, what? Yes, she was lying about everything. And so her baby daddy, that was not her baby daddy, that's just a nigga that she was talking to from back home. And I was like, okay. So I was like, oh no, this hoe got to go. I was like, you can stay, but she got to go. When she gets back that night, we see the red Camaro pull up. He saw the red Camaro. I saw the red Camaro. We stand on the balcony, and I think they saw us stand on the balcony. So they drove off out the neighborhood. And so then she ends up coming walking back up with her book bag on, trying to act like we didn't see her. he starts going off. Like, he starts going off. Like, this man, he snatched her phone. I tried to hold on to him to keep from like anything happening. He snatched her phone and literally like slammed it on the concrete and shattered it. They ended up like going back and forth. I told them to go in the house because like they yelling and fighting. So when we get back in my apartment, I'm like trying to tell her to pack her stuff and leave. Like I'm telling her to call Humpty Dumpty. He brought you here so he can gladly come back and pick you up. And so I give her my phone. She's talking about she don't know his number. Baby, you been fucking with this nigga for how long? You need to tell me you don't know his number. Don't lie. Do not lie like that. So I gladly give her my phone. I was like, well, how about this? I have his address. So I was like, because I remember what he said. One thing about me is I'm going to save some shit. Like, I mean, I would never use it intentionally, but like, I'm going to use it for like, if I have to. So I had the address. One thing about me is I keep it addict. So I was writing my little Uber app. I was like, this is what I'll do. Because she owed me some money and she didn't even give it to me. At that point, I didn't even want it. Because I was like, no, you just lied about this. I don't want this negative energy in my life. I don't need this type of shit in my life. So I'm just like, all right, because I had too much going on. I mean, and I pull up daddy. I call her. I said, I can call your Uber. She's like, no, I need to, I can't call. I don't know. I was like, well, what do you want me to do? Because like, you can't stay here. She's like, she's like, well, can I just stay tonight? I was like, okay, but you have to leave by 7:30. And so, because that's what time I was leaving. Like, I would leave like by 7:30. And so I can go to work and whatnot. I let her pack her stuff, and then they start fighting each other. Like, they're literally in the hallway. They start fighting each other. My cousin is on the phone. She hears this. I'm trying to break up the fight. Somebody knocks me upside the back of my head. And when I got knocked upside the back of my head trying to break them up so the police don't get called and I get kicked out, I had to calm myself down because I'm just like, who the fuck just hit me? Because somebody threw a lick. And I know it's probably on purpose. So my cousin's on the phone because I call her because I know what else to do. So she started fussing her out. And over the phone, like she literally starts going off on the phone. And so that's when I was like, okay, I got something for this. So I took her stuff out and I put it outside my apartment. And I was like, okay, you gotta go. I don't want the money. She tried to give me the money there. I was like, no, keep it, baby, because you're gonna need it. So, all right, I'd rather you take that, get you somewhere established, and just help you out because like you're gonna need it, and I'm not that cruel. And so at that point, that's when Lama Bean's like, Beans, you're gonna really do this? You're gonna really do this? You're gonna really do this? Like, he was just fighting with her. And he's gonna look at me like I'm in the wrong. And I was like, oh, okay, well, you gotta go too. I was like, you gotta go too. Because, like, now that I see where you are, I don't trust you to stay here with her not being over here. So I was like, you gotta go too. So he gets mad and he leaves. And then that's when Humpty Dumpty pulls up. Humpty Dumpty pulls up. And at this point, I had called my friend at the same time because like I was going through this like alone. I'm in Greensboro by myself, so that's why I called my friend. And so, because I'm like, these are two niggas, and I'd be damned if I get jumped tonight. So, like, this is not what's about to happen. So, I was just like, all right. Humpty Dumpty came and got her stuff. Him and Jericho had a few words. Jericho ended up walking off, and before Jericho could get out of my apartment, I was like, he tried to walk out of the apartment without giving me the key, and I was like, no, key. Gives me the key, slams it in my hand, and walks out. So me and my friend are just talking at the time in the apartment. And like she's trying to calm me down because I'm just like, what the hell? Like I'm tired of being nice to fucking people. Like I'm so tired of being nice. Like I'm so tired because every time I be nice to somebody, it blows up in my face. And I'm a down ass nigga. Like if you need me, I'm going to be there for you. Especially if I feel like we have a connection, like and we build like a good relationship, like as friends or anything. I'm just that type of nigga. Like I'm going to be there for you. Like I take and the reason why I'm like that with friends is because my family ain't really shit. So I like. They're not shit, so I look at my friends as my family, and that's why I be getting hurt a lot because people keep fucking me over, and I just be sitting here like, well, why would you do that? Like, that's kind of cruel. But, anyways, like, that's just a fucked up thing to do. Like, I'm sitting here trying to get my shit together, and I'm trying to help you get your shit together at the same time, and this is how you do somebody. It always happens. Anyways, so I'm just talking to my friend. All of a sudden, we hear a knock on the door. She grabs a knife. We go to the door. It is Humpty Dumpty. So I had a chair sitting in front of the door. So at this point, I moved the chair. So when I moved the chair, I'm just like, in case he try and bust up in here, because I need to be ready to swing. Like, and that's the thing about it. I'm not like, I don't care for violence, but at the same time, like, I don't fuck with nobody. Like, I do not bother nobody. So if I ever in a fight or something, just know it was for a good cause. Like, it's not like I'm just out here being ratchet. Like, no hood, baby. Like, I don't care for it. And first of all, I don't even care to argue with people. I'm not gonna go to like argue with you because I do not care. I don't care. But if you try to come at me and I need to defend myself, I will gladly do that with no issues. So I opened the door and I thought he was out trying to bust in. So I'm just like, all right, like I'm literally like, I had her open the door and I'm just like ready. So then that's when he's like, what's the problem? I was like, what do you mean? What is the problem? He's like, what's going on? And I'm just like, what do you mean? What's going on? He's like, you kicking her out? And I'm like, yes, I'm kicking her out. This is my home. My name is on the lease. Is there a problem? And so I guess he didn't like, because one thing about me, let me just tell you, I hate to say it, but like, I got a slick mouth. Like, it is just, it's, my mouth is very, it can be very reckless when I want it to be. And this is why I've been trying to tell people, do not fuck with me. Like, do not mess with me, because I promise to you, you barking up the wrong tree, motherfucker. I'm telling you, you gonna see somebody you did not want to see. Y'all might see all smiles and giggles, but I promise to you, try it. Try that shit. And so then that's when I'm just like, all right. So he starts getting buck with me, and I'm just like, again, I don't scare. Like, all right, I'm one of the most unbothered people you ever meet. Like, I literally just be like, you done? Yeah, you done? Are you finished? You know, I got shit to do. So, he literally just starts trying to get loud with me. And so my friend opens the door and she's like, go ahead. And so when she said go ahead, I thought she was telling me go ahead and swing. So I started walking up to him. Like, we literally, like, the way the apartment was, I stayed on the second floor. You had like the garden floor, and then you had like the first floor, which was second and the second floor. So there's the stairs. And so I guess he wasn't expecting me to like walk up on him. And I guess she probably told him that, oh, Nia's not gonna do nothing. Little did she know, I'm about that life when it's time to be about that life, okay? I don't know what you thought was gonna happen, but it ain't going down like that. Like, you, especially when it comes to where I stay, where I pay bills, and I'm already going through it. You know that I'm going through it, and I just help your dumb ass out. And you think you're gonna do me like this? No, baby, you got me fucked up. So I guess he got kind of shook, because I was like, all right, let's fight. And so that's when we sitting there standing outside, and I'm like, I'm not gonna say I don't ever believe in swinging first, but like, I just always think about like, okay, if the police get called and shit, like, how am I gonna validate this? So that's what I've been thinking about. Like, I'm a very mathematical thinker sometimes, very analytical. So that's when I was like, all right. So he was not doing nothing, and so that's when my friend's like, I'm just gonna call the police, and I was like, okay, go ahead, because I'm not trying to get killed at my apartment. So she called the police. I hurry up and I grabbed that license plate number in my head and go ahead and get that down. And he had this big ass fucked up dent in the side of his car. Like, we all know who it was gonna be. So she called the police and I explained to them. I'm like, look, I was like, it's just a lot of drama that happened. I'm going talking to them. They was like, oh wow. And I'm like, yeah. I was like, look, I live up here by myself. I was like, I just go to school up here. I don't do nothing but go to work and school. I was like, I'll barely be home like that as it is anyway. So like, he'll have somebody patrol the neighborhood. And I was like, okay, like, because I really didn't care. So I remember they had somebody patrolling the neighborhood that night. And it's just the fact that, because I don't know, because being that she lied about everything, I kind of had to watch my back a little bit. Because I was like, it's no telling what else she'd do. Because apparently she's like a real gutter bitch. Like, she really like trifling, like done some trifling shit. She done some trifling shit to Jericho, which I don't understand why he was so fucking and like up her ass and around the corner. But anyways, they leave. My friends end up leaving. I'm like, she's like, you good? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I'm fine. So after that, they have to come back to get Jericho's stuff. And so when Jericho and his mama pulled up in his mama's car, he came to get the rest of his stuff. And she had bought a shower curtain for my apartment. And again, I'm telling you, I was literally going through the struggle. Like, I really didn't really have shit like that. Like, I was literally going through it. So he calls himself taking the shower curtain. And I'm just like, baby, you can take the shower curtain, but you can't take the shower. Like, let me just say, and that's one of my favorite sayings that I've ever said. You can take the shower curtain, but you cannot take the shower, meaning that I still have a foundation. Do you know how easy it is for me to go get another shower curtain? And that's exactly what I did. Because she called herself trying to decorate my apartment and like just do little shit. And I was like, at this point, like again, I didn't really care just because like I was so, it was so much other shit going on. And that's why I be telling people, like, I don't have time to worry about y'all shit. Like, I do not, like, if somebody got issues with me, I guarantee you it's all on them. I don't care. I don't have time to think about that. Even to this day, I have so much other shit going on in my head right now. It is, let me just put it like this. It is just me. I have so much to do, so much to take care of. I'm also trying to get my career started by maintaining a job and maintaining school as well. No, I'm not worried about the next bitch, the next nigga. I'm sorry, but I'm not. I don't care that much. I'm not bothered. Like, because one thing about it is I've always said I'm going to be a superstar. And to this day, I still believe that. No matter how many times, no matter how sad I get, no matter how depressed I get, I know that I am unstoppable. And I've had to remember who the fuck I was multiple times throughout these past 5 years. And it's just like, y'all try to keep a nigga down, but like, it's not going to happen. Like, I am not no diamond dozen, baby. I'm one of a kind. There, after that last incident, that's when I've like been very mindful of like everybody who I allow to come into my life, just because I've had so many people use and abuse me, even my own damn family. Like, and it's like I don't have nobody like that. I really don't. Like, I'm literally like. I just hope one day people will realize that it's not hard to be a decent human being. And if you have somebody that's trying to help you, don't take advantage of that. And one thing I'm willing to help just because I don't like seeing people going through it. I know what it's like. I've been going through it for like, I always say I've lived a very good side of life and I've lived the very bad side of life. Like it's not been easy. And I literally had to fight from the ground up just to get to this point. And I'm still clawing my way, like still trying to get to the top. And I just want people to understand that don't use anybody. Like, that's so fucked up, especially when somebody is genuinely down for you. And that's what I was. Like, I used to help this bitch out all the time. And after that incident, like, I never saw her again. I mean, I don't even know if she was pregnant or not, because that whole time when they were fighting, she's talking about she was pregnant. He's like, no, you're not. Like, I guess she was just gonna lie until she can lie no more. I went to work, and there was this other girl there that worked in the same department as Lima Bean, and me and the other girl became cool. And so we were just talking about the situation, and so apparently it had got bad. And I won't that I was running my mouth about it, but Jericho go hop in my DMs on Facebook talking about, don't run your mouth about me, don't run your mouth about me, keep my name out your mouth. And I'm just like, nigga, you know where I stay. You can gladly pull up if you want this ass whooping. Like, it's nothing but a thing, I tell you that much. But anyways, I said I wasn't going to do a story time on this just because it was like 3 years ago, and I don't want to put nothing negative on this channel per se. And I don't think this is negative. I think this is just a situation that I really do need to get off my chest. And so I did it now. Granted, like, it was like, I've had so much other shit going on since then. And if I want to do a story time, I normally like for some time to pass in between, not like years, but like at least a few weeks or a month before I do that story time. But I guess I shouldn't really care. But like, and that's what I be telling people, like, yes, I know I'm young, and I know my life looks like it might be good, because apparently I've heard people say that and think my life is good, and I'm just like, look, my life is a roller coaster. That's just how it is. And I hope one day it'll stabilize itself, but like as of right now, it's just up and down. So don't let what you think is going on. Furthermore, I don't like to explain to myself either. But if you have a question, just ask me. Don't try and fish, because that irritates the shit out of me. Like, just ask, and I will tell you if I feel like I need to tell you, if I feel like I want to tell you. But I don't know. And I just feel like that bitch is the type of person where, like, if she was pregnant, she would leave me with the baby. Like, it didn't want to even be my child. Because I just remember she used to talk about, yeah, you're going to be my God. You're going to be the godfather to my child. And I was just like, oh, okay. And I was really being supportive for her, like, because she was acting like she didn't have nobody. And come to find out, she had left her birth certificate out of the house. So I found that information too. Like, I literally have found like everything. I took pictures of the birth certificate, everything, and traced her back to, because you know the birth certificate states where their hometown was, and her family never moved from the address. So like, it was just a mess. But anyways, on to another new. I just wanted to like kind of get that off my chest just because I feel like that was gonna be a good story time. But like this girl, but y'all, that was a mouthful. That was really a mouthful. But if you guys enjoy my story times, I know they're kind of chaotic, but like you can't say that wasn't a good one. Like you can't say that was a good one. But anyways, if you guys enjoyed my story time, I hope you guys will like, comment, subscribe, and come back to my channel. Thank you guys for watching, and y'all just keep on serving, surviving, and thriving. And during your time of surviving, don't forget to thrive and serve. Serve your looks, whatever the fuck you do, and just be you. Do you, boo. But thank you guys for coming again. Just keep watching. Go watch my old videos if you want to. I'm getting better as far as like editing is concerned and like everything. So bye guys. It was nice seeing y'all. I'll be back Friday, hopefully, if nothing else fucks up. So bye y'all.